Dr. Lee Hyan-Woo stepped off the transport shuttle and onto the docking bay of Nexus Prime. The massive space station stretched out before him like a metal city floating in space. Beings from dozens of different worlds walked past him, their strange forms and sounds, making him feel very small and very human. He clutched his datapad tighter and checked his conference badge again. The Galactic Medical Conference only happened once every 5 years. This was the first time Earth had been invited to send a representative. Hyan-Woo still could not believe they had chosen him. Back on Earth, he was just another researcher studying alien life forms that had been discovered on other worlds. He spent his days in a small lab in Seoul, looking at samples and writing papers that few people read. Now he was walking among the greatest medical minds in the galaxy. The conference hall was enormous. Thousands of beings filled the seats, their voices creating a symphony of different languages and sounds. Hyan-Woo found his assigned seat in the human section, which was very small compared to the areas reserved for older galactic civilizations. To his left sat a tall, blue-skinned being with 4 arms. The creature noticed Hyan-Woo looking and spoke through a translation device hanging around its neck. First time at the conference, young one, the being asked in accented but clear English. Yes, sir, Hyan-Woo replied, trying to sound more confident than he felt. I am Dr. Lee Hyan-Woo from Earth. Ah, the new species. The being nodded. I am Dr. Kelleth of the Vortani. Your people have interest in biology, I hear. Very, adaptable. Before Hyan-Woo could ask what that meant, the lights dimmed and the conference began. A massive insectoid being with shimmering wings took the stage. Her voice boomed through the hall without any need for amplification. Welcome, beings of the galaxy, to the 847th Galactic Medical Conference. I am Chairwoman Rix. Today, we gather to share knowledge that will heal the sick and extend life across our worlds. The first few presentations made Hyan-Woo's head spin. A crystalline being from the Helix Nebula spoke about healing broken bones with sound waves. Species that looked like walking trees discussed how they could regrow lost limbs over the course of several years. Each advancement seemed impossible to human science. Hyan-Woo began to feel embarrassed about his own research. What could Earth possibly contribute to this gathering of advanced civilizations? His studies of simple Earth creatures seemed pathetic compared to the miracles being discussed on stage. Then Dr. Kelleth stepped up to present. The Vortani physician activated a holographic display that showed a complex brain scan. Dizing, the image rotated slowly, highlighting damaged areas in red. Fellow researchers, Dr. Kelleth began. Today, I present our greatest medical achievement. After centuries of research, we have developed a method to repair brain tissue. The audience leaned forward with interest. Brain injuries were considered permanent damage across most species. Even the most advanced civilizations could only work around brain damage, not fix it. Our new technique can restore up to 15% of damaged brain tissue, Dr. Kelleth continued. The process requires 6 months of treatment and constant cybernetic support, but the results are remarkable. The hologram showed the brain healing slowly, new tissue growing to replace the damaged areas. The audience erupted in amazed chatter. Even Hyan-Woo had to admit it was impressive technology. This breakthrough will change medicine forever, Dr. Kelleth concluded. No longer will brain damage mean permanent disability. We can give hope to millions of beings across the galaxy. The applause was thunderous. Beings from every species showed their approval in their own ways. Some clapped, others buzzed, and a few released pleasant scents into the air. When the noise died down, Chairwoman Rix opened the floor for questions. Several beings asked technical questions about the procedure. Others wanted to know about side effects and costs. Hyan-Woo sat quietly, thinking about what he had heard. 15% brain tissue repair after 6 months of treatment. It truly was amazing for galactic medicine, but something about it struck him as strange. On Earth, he had studied many creatures during his biology courses. Some of them could do things that would seem impossible to these advanced aliens, but they were just simple animals that most people ignored without really thinking about it. Hien Wu raised his hand. The movement felt automatic, like his body was acting before his brain could stop it. The massive hall fell silent. Thousands of alien eyes turned toward the small human section. Chairwoman Rix tilted her head, her compound eyes focusing on him. The representative from Earth has a question, she announced. Hien Wu felt his heart pounding. Every being in the hall was looking at him. He could feel sweat forming on his forehead. But it was too late to back down now. He stood up slowly and activated his own translation device. His voice sounded small and nervous compared to the confident tones of the other speakers. "Thank you, Chairwoman Rix," he began. "Dr. Kelleth, your research is very impressive, but I have a question about brain regeneration." Dr. Kelleth looked interested. "Please, ask your question." Hien Wu took a deep breath. "On Earth, we have a creature called a planarian. Okay? It is a type of flatworm that lives in ponds and streams. If you cut off its head, including the entire brain, it will grow back completely in about 2 weeks." The silence that followed was different from before. It was not respectful attention, but shocked disbelief. Dr. Kelleth's forearms moved in. What might have been confusion? "I am sorry, Dr. Lee," Dr. Kelleth said slowly. "My translator may be malfunctioning. Did you say this creature regrows its entire brain?" Hien Wu replied, his confidence growing slightly. "Not just part of it, the whole brain, complete with all its functions. He can cut a planarian into several pieces, and each piece will grow into a complete worm with a working brain." The hall erupted into chaos. Ks began talking excitedly in their own languages. Some stood up from their seats to get a better look at the human who had made such an impossible claim. Dr. Kelleth raised one of his hands for silence. When the noise died down, he spoke carefully. "Dr. Lee, such regeneration is impossible according to all known biological laws. This creature you describe, it must be from your homeworld's ancient alien visitors. Yes, some advanced species that left this organism behind." Hien Wu blinked in surprise. He had not expected this reaction. "No, sir. Planarians are native to Earth. They are very simple creatures. We find them in any pond or stream. Children often study them in school." The silence returned, heavier than before. Hien Wu could feel the weight of thousands of stares. He began to realize that he had said something much more important than he had intended. Chairwoman Rix leaned forward on the stage. "Dr. Lee, are you claiming that your homeworld has creatures that can perform complete brain regeneration naturally?" "Well, yes," Hien Wu said. "Is that unusual?" The question hung in the air like a challenge to everything the galaxy thought it knew about biology. The conference hall buzzed with urgent conversations in dozens of languages. Dr. Lee Hien Wu stood in the middle of it all, watching alien beings point at him and whisper among themselves. He was starting to realize that his simple question had caused something much bigger than he expected. Chairwoman Rix struck a metal staff against the floor 3 times. The sound echoed through the hall like thunder, and everyone fell silent immediately. "Dr. Lee," she said, her compound eyes fixed on him, "your claim contradicts everything we know about brain regeneration. Either you are mistaken about this creature, or you are deliberately spreading false information." Hien Wu felt his face grow hot. "I am not lying, Chairwoman. Planarians are real. Every biology student on Earth knows about them." A being that looked like a walking crystal stood up from the front row. Its voice sounded like wind chimes when it spoke. I am Dr. Vash from the Helix Nebula. I have studied regenerative biology for 300 years. Complete brain regeneration is impossible. Well, the neural pathways cannot reform without existing templates, but they do, Haiyan Wu insisted. I have seen it many times in my studies. Double quotes, Dr. Kelleth shook his blue head. Young human, you may have observed partial healing with simple reflexes returning. True brain regeneration with full memory and learning ability has never been documented in any species. The hall erupted again with voices of agreement. Haiyan Wu looked around at the sea of alien faces, all of them clearly thinking he was either crazy or a liar. His heart sank. This was supposed to be his chance to represent Earth at the most important medical gathering in the galaxy, and instead he was being treated like a fool. Then he remembered something. His research partner back on Earth, Dr. Park Sojin, had just finished a major study on planarian regeneration. She had recorded everything with high-definition cameras, and had even used brain scanning technology to prove the worms were fully functional after regeneration. Wait, Haiyan Wu said, raising his hand again. I can prove it. My colleague on Earth has documented proof of complete planarian regeneration. Chairwoman Rix tilted her head. What kind of proof? Video recordings, brain scans, behavioral tests. Everything you would need to verify the process. The giant insectoid being considered this for a moment. Very well. We will give you 1 hour to contact your homeworld and provide this evidence. If you cannot prove your claims, Earth's invitation to future conferences will be reviewed. Haiyan Wu felt the weight of that threat. Earth had worked for decades to earn a place at this conference. If he failed here, humanity might be banned from galactic medical cooperation forever. I understand, he said. May I use the station's quantum communication system? Granted. Chairwoman Rix replied. The conference will continue with other presentations while we wait. A tall, thin being with gray skin escorted Haiyan Wu to the communications center. The room was filled with equipment that looked far more advanced than anything on Earth. The operator, a being with multiple tentacles instead of arms, helped him establish a connection to Seoul. After several tense minutes, Dr. Park Sojin's face appeared on the screen. She looked tired, as it was very late in Seoul, but her eyes brightened when she saw Haiyan Wu. How's the conference going? She asked in Korean. Sojin, I need your help urgently, Haiyan Wu replied, also in Korean. I mentioned planarians to the aliens, and they think I am lying. They want proof of complete brain regeneration. Gus. Sojin's expression became serious. They do not believe planarians can regrow their brains. No. They say it is impossible. Can you send me the recordings from your latest study? Of course. Give me 20 minutes to prepare the files. I will include the brain scan data and the behavioral test results. While they waited, Haiyan Wu returned to the conference hall. The other presentations continued, but he noticed that many beings kept glancing at him. Word had spread quickly through the conference about the human who claimed impossible things. Dr. Kelleth approached him during the break between speakers. Dr. Lee, I do not wish to embarrass you or your species. Perhaps you could simply admit you were mistaken, and we can move on. But I am not mistaken, Haiyan Wu replied. In 20 minutes, you will see proof. The Vortani physician sighed. 1. I have been studying medicine for longer than your species has had writing. So, trust me when I say that complete brain regeneration is impossible. When the files arrived from Earth, Haiyan Wu requested permission to present them to the conference. Chairwoman Rix agreed, and the hall's main screen activated to display the data from Seoul. The first video showed a planarian worm swimming in a small container of water. The creature was less than 2 centimeters long and looked like a simple brown leaf. Then the video showed a researcher cutting the worm into 3 pieces with a sharp blade. The alien audience gasped. Some beings covered their eyes or made sounds of distress. two species that considered brain damage permanent. Watching a creature's head being cut off was disturbing. "This is barbaric," whispered a being that looked like a large bird. "How can they torture creatures for research?" "Wait," Hyan Wu said. "Watch what happens next." The video fast-forwarded through 2 weeks of time. Each piece of the worm began to change. The middle section grew a new head and tail. The tail section grew a new head and middle. Most amazingly, the head section grew a new body to replace what had been lost. But the real shock came when the brain scan data appeared on the screen. Each regenerated worm showed full brain activity. The neural patterns were complete and functional. "This is impossible," Dr. Vash said, his crystal body glowing brighter with excitement. "The brain tissue is completely new, yet it shows organized activity." The final part of the presentation showed behavioral tests. The regenerated worms could learn to navigate mazes, respond to light, and even remember food locations. Their brains were not just regenerated, but fully functional. The conference hall fell completely silent. Every being stared at the screen in disbelief. Dr. Khalith's forearms hung at his sides as he processed what he had seen. "The data is authentic," Dr. Vash announced after running the files through his analysis equipment. "This creature truly regenerates its entire brain and retains full cognitive function." Chairwoman Ricks stood up slowly. "Dr. Lee, if this is true, then your species may have access to biological knowledge that could revolutionize galactic medicine. Are there other creatures on Earth with similar abilities?" Hyan Wu thought about his biology textbooks back home. Earth was full of creatures that could regrow parts of themselves. Starfish, salamanders, certain types of worms, and spiders. Things that seemed normal to humans, but might be miraculous to these advanced aliens. "Yes," he said quietly. "There are many others." The hall erupted into the loudest chaos yet. Beings were standing, shouting questions, and demanding more information. Hyan Wu realized that his simple answer about a pondworm had just changed everything. Chairwoman Ricks struck her staff repeatedly to restore order. Emergency session declared. "Dr. Lee, you will provide a complete list of these creatures immediately. This conference has just become the most important medical gathering in galactic history." The emergency session began immediately. Dr. Lee Hyan Wu found himself standing at the center of the galaxy's most important medical conference, surrounded by beings who now looked at him with completely different eyes. What had started as polite curiosity had become intense scientific hunger. Chairwoman Ricks activated a recording device that floated above the gathering. "This session will be transmitted to every medical facility in the galaxy. Dr. Lee, please describe these other Earth creatures systematically." Hyan Wu took a deep breath and activated his datapad. He had quickly contacted Dr. Park Sojin again, and she had sent him files on Earth's most remarkable creatures. He decided to start with something that might seem less shocking than brain regeneration. "The first creature I want to discuss is called a tardigrade," he began. "We also call them water bears." "Huh? They are microscopic animals that live almost everywhere on Earth." "Microscopic life is common," interrupted Dr. Kelleth. "What makes these special?" "Okay, they can survive in space," Hyan Wu said simply. The hall went quiet. Dr. Vash's crystal body stopped glowing entirely. "Explain what you mean by survive in space." "Tardigrades can live in the vacuum of space for days. They survive without air, in extreme cold, and under radiation that would kill most known life forms. When conditions improve, they simply wake up and continue living normally." A being that looked like a walking tree trunk stood up. Its voice sounded like creaking wood. "I am Dr. Gornax of the thermal colonies. My species evolved in volcanic conditions. We pride ourselves on surviving extreme heat. Are you saying these tiny creatures are more resilient than us?" "Well," Hyan Wu said, checking his datapad, Tardigrades can survive temperatures from almost absolute zero to over 150 degrees Celsius. They can also withstand radiation levels 1,000 times stronger than what would kill a human. Dr. Gornax sat down heavily. His species had spent millions of years evolving to survive in volcanic heat, and now they were learning that microscopic Earth creatures could survive far worse conditions. "Show us the data," demanded Dr. V.S.H. Hien-Wu displayed the information Sojin had sent. The screen showed microscopic footage of tardigrades in their natural state. Then, footage of them surviving in laboratory conditions that simulated space. The creatures simply shut down their biological processes and waited, like living rocks. They enter a state called cryptobiosis, Hien-Wu explained. They can stay like this for years, maybe decades. When water and normal conditions return, they wake up and continue living as if nothing happened. The audience was silent for a long moment. Then, a being that looked like a giant jellyfish floating in a mobility tank spoke up. "These creatures make our most advanced survival technology look primitive. What else can Earth life forms do?" Hien-Wu scrolled through his files. "There are octopi. They are sea creatures with 8 arms and very large brains. Cephalopods are known in several systems," said Dr. Kelleth. "They are usually simple predators. Earth octopi are different," Hien-Wu continued. "They can solve complex puzzles, use tools, and even plan for future events. But the most interesting thing is that they have 9 brains. 9 brains. Dr. Vash's crystal body began glowing brighter. "That is impossible. No creature can maintain 9 separate brain centers. Actually, they have 1 central brain and 8 smaller brains in their arms. Okay? Each arm can taste, touch, and even react to danger independently. The arms can continue moving and hunting, even if they are separated from the main body." This caused another uproar. Species called the collectus, who were known for their hive mind intelligence, began chattering excitedly among themselves. Their leader, a being that looked like a collection of floating metal spheres, spoke through their group translator. "We are a collective intelligence, sharing one mind across many bodies. Yet these octopi have multiple independent intelligences in one body. This is the opposite of our evolution, yet it works." Dr. Kim Minho's face appeared on the communication screen from Earth. Hien-Wu had asked him to join the session to help explain marine biology. Minho looked excited to be part of the galactic conference. "Dr. Kim," Hien-Wu said, "can you tell them about octopi camouflage?" "Certainly," Minho replied in English. "Octopi can change their skin color, texture, and even shape to match their surroundings perfectly. They can look like rocks, coral, or even other sea creatures. The change happens in less than a second. Advanced camouflage technology requires complex computers and energy sources," said a military representative from the Krag Empire. "How do these creatures power such systems?" "It is completely biological," Minho explained. "Their skin contains millions of color-changing cells called chromatophores. No technology needed." The military representative sat back in his chair, clearly troubled. His species had spent enormous resources developing stealth technology, and now he was learning that Earth sea creatures had better camouflage systems built into their bodies. "What about creatures that never die?" asked Dr. Vash. "Do such things exist on Earth?" Hien-Wu consulted his files again. "There are jellyfish called Toritopsis dohrnii. When they get old or injured, they can reverse their aging process and become young again. They can repeat this cycle indefinitely." "Biological immortality," whispered Dr. Kelleth. "My species has searched for such secrets for millennia." "There are also sharks," Hien-Wu continued. "Some species have remained almost unchanged for over 400 million years. They are perfect predators that evolution could not improve." The Krag military representative leaned forward. "Perfect predators. Explain. Sharks have incredible senses. They can detect electrical fields from other creatures' hearts and muscles. They can smell blood from kilometers away. Their teeth regrow constantly, so they never become dull. Some species can live for over 400 years. 400 years, repeated Dr. Gornax. And they maintain perfect health throughout this time. Yes, sharks rarely get cancer or other diseases. Their immune systems are extremely powerful. The conference hall had become a place of wonder and disbelief. Beings who had considered themselves the pinnacle of evolution were learning that a young planet was full of creatures that surpassed their abilities in every area. Dr. Vash stood up, his crystal body now glowing so brightly it hurt to look at him directly. Dr. Lee, how many more of these impossible creatures exist on Earth? Cayenne Wu thought about the millions of species on his home planet, creatures that could survive being frozen solid, animals that could regenerate entire limbs, insects that could lift objects many times their own weight, birds that could navigate using magnetic fields. Earth has over 8 million known species, he said quietly. Most of them have abilities that you might consider impossible. The silence that followed was different from the previous ones. It was not disbelief or shock, but the silence of minds trying to process something too large to understand. Chairwoman Riggs finally spoke. Dr. Lee, it appears that your planet is not simply another habitable world. Earth may be the most biologically diverse and advanced planet in the known galaxy. But these are just common animals, Hien Wu protested. Children learn about them in school. That, said Dr. Vash, may be the most remarkable thing of all. Within hours of the emergency session ending, Dr. Lee Hien Wu found himself in the most unusual position of his life. He was no longer just another researcher from a young species. He had become the most important being at the Galactic Medical Conference, and possibly in the entire galaxy. News of Earth's biological treasures spread through the space station like wildfire. Beings who had never spoken to humans before now approached Hien Wu with urgent questions. His small quarters were suddenly too crowded with alien visitors, all wanting to know more about the impossible creatures from his homeworld. Dr. Vash was the first to make an official request. The crystal being's body pulsed with excited energy as he spoke to Hien Wu in the station's main meeting room. Dr. Lee, my government wants to send a research team to Earth immediately. The regenerative properties of these planarians could revolutionize medicine for billions of beings across the galaxy. My species has brain injuries that we have never been able to heal, added Dr. Kelleth. If we could understand how these creatures regrow their brains, we could help so many people. Hien Wu felt overwhelmed. I am just one researcher. I cannot make decisions for all of Earth. But you can help us contact the right people, said Chairwoman Riggs. This is too important to delay. Back on Earth, the reaction was equally intense. Dr. Park Sojin had been working nonstop since the conference began, coordinating with governments and universities around the world. When Hien Wu contacted her again, she looked exhausted but excited. Hien Wu, everything has changed here, she said through the quantum communicator. The United Nations has called an emergency meeting. Every major university wants to start collaboration projects with alien researchers. How are people reacting? Hien Wu asked. Most are excited, but some are worried. They think we might be giving away Earth's greatest advantages. But Dr. Yoon Ji-hai from Seoul National University is leading a team to coordinate with the aliens. She thinks this could be the best thing that ever happened to humanity. Dr. Yoon Ji-hai appeared on the screen next to Sojin. She was a geneticist who had spent years studying the unique properties of Earth's creatures. Her eyes sparkled with scientific enthusiasm. Dr. Lee, she said, I have been studying Earth's biodiversity for 20 years. I always knew our planet was special, but I never realized how special until now. The aliens are right to be amazed. What do you mean? Hien Wu asked. Earth's extreme biodiversity comes from our planet's unique history. We have had ice ages, asteroid impacts, volcanic periods, and dramatic climate changes. These challenges forced life to become incredibly adaptable and creative. Most planets with life are much more stable, so their creatures never needed to develop such extreme abilities. This explanation made sense to Hien Wu. Earth's history had been violent and unpredictable, but that chaos had created the most remarkable collection of life forms in the galaxy. Meanwhile, alien scientists were making their own discoveries. Dr. Vash had been analyzing the biological data from Earth and found patterns that excited him greatly. Dr. Lee, he said, your planet's creatures do not just have individual amazing abilities. They represent entirely new approaches to biology that we never considered. What do you mean? Hien Wu asked. Take the tardigrades. We have always believed that complex life requires constant maintenance and protection, but these creatures show us that life can simply shut down and wait for better conditions. This could revolutionize space travel for every species in the galaxy. Double quotes, Dr. Kelleth nodded in agreement. And the octopi show us that intelligence does not have to be centralized. We could develop medical treatments that work with distributed nerve systems instead of trying to repair central brains. The excitement was spreading beyond just medical applications. The Crag military representative had been quietly studying Earth's predators and had reached disturbing conclusions. These Earth creatures make our weapons technology look primitive. He admitted to his superiors through a secure communication channel. If humans could understand and copy these abilities, they could become the most powerful species in the galaxy. This concern was shared by other military powers. The hegemony, a coalition of older species who had dominated galactic politics for centuries, began to worry about humanity's sudden rise in importance. Lord Commander Vex of the hegemony called an emergency meeting of his council. This Earth species has gone from unknown to essential in a matter of days. If they control access to these biological secrets, they could challenge our authority. Perhaps we should restrict their access to galactic technology, suggested General Morax. Keep them dependent on us. Too late, replied Intelligence Chief Corvin. Half the galaxy is already trying to make deals with them. If we move against Earth now, we will only push them toward our enemies. Back at the conference, Hien Wu was unaware of these political concerns. He was too busy trying to answer the endless questions from fascinated scientists. But he was beginning to understand that Earth's creatures represented something much more important than interesting biology. Dr. Yoon Ji-hai contacted him again with news that made everything clear. Hien Wu, I have been contacted by the Galactic Medical Alliance. They want to propose a formal partnership with Earth in exchange for access to our biological knowledge. They are offering us medical technology that could eliminate most diseases on our planet. What kind of partnership? Hien Wu asked. They want to establish research stations on Earth with human and alien scientists working together. They are also offering Earth a seat on the Galactic Council, which has never been given to such a young species. Hien Wu felt his heart racing. A seat on the Galactic Council would make humanity one of the most important species in the galaxy. It was an honor that usually took millions of years of development to achieve. There is one problem, Dr. Yoon continued. The hegemony is opposing the proposal, claiming humans are too primitive to handle such responsibility. What does that mean? Hien Wu asked. It means Earth is about to become the center of galactic politics. Every species will have to choose whether they support humanity's rise or try to stop it. As if to prove her point, Chairwoman Rix approached Hien Wu with urgent news. Dr. Lee, I have received word that several hegemony ships are approaching this station. They claim to be conducting a routine inspection, but my sources believe they intend to interfere with our conference. Can they do that? Hien Wu asked. Take and try, Chairwoman Rix replied. But they have made a mistake. by threatening Earth. They have united every species that wants access to your biological knowledge. The galaxy is about to see its first major political shift in 1,000 years. Hyan-Wu looked out through the station's viewing port at the stars beyond. Somewhere among them, powerful ships were moving toward a confrontation that would determine humanity's place in the galaxy. All because he had mentioned a simple pond creature that could regrow its brain. The universe was about to change. It was all starting with the creatures swimming in Earth's ponds and streams. Dr. Li Hyan-Wu watched through the massive viewing port as 3 dark ships approached. Nexus Prime. The hegemony vessels looked threatening even at a distance. Their angular designs meant to intimidate anyone who saw them, but Hyan-Wu was surprised to see that they were not alone. Ships from dozens of other species had also arrived, forming a protective barrier around the station. "They came to support us," said Chairwoman Rix, standing beside him. When word spread that the hegemony might try to stop the conference, every species that wants access to Earth's knowledge sent ships to protect you. Dr. Vash approached them, his crystal body glowing with determination. "Dr. Li, my government has made a decision. Hi, we're formally requesting that Earth join the Galactic Medical Alliance as a full partner, not just a member." "What does that mean?" Hyan-Wu asked. "Key, it means Earth would have equal say in all medical research decisions across the galaxy. Key, no other species has ever been offered such a position so quickly." Before Hyan-Wu could respond, the station's communication system activated. Lord Commander Thex of the hegemony appeared on the main screen, his reptilian features twisted with anger. "Nexus Prime Station, you are harboring dangerous biological information that threatens galactic security. Surrender the human representative for proper questioning." Chairwoman Rix stepped forward. "Lord Commander, this is a medical conference protected by galactic treaty. You have no authority here. You have the authority of superior firepower," Zex replied coldly. "These primitive humans cannot be trusted with knowledge that could destabilize the galaxy. It's primitive." Dr. Kelleth had been listening to the exchange. "Lord Commander, these humans possess biological knowledge that makes our most advanced technology look like children's toys." Dex's expression grew more angry. "Exactly why they are dangerous. Such power should remain with species that have proven their wisdom through millennia of civilization." Dr. Yoon Jihai's voice came through the quantum communicator from Earth. "Hyan-Wu, are you hearing this? The arrogance is incredible. They are calling us primitive while asking for our help. What is the situation on Earth?" Hyan-Wu asked. "Doctor, Choi Sang-wook has been working with the United Nations to coordinate our response. We have decided to accept the Medical Alliance partnership, but only if they guarantee Earth's independence and security." The standoff continued for several tense hours. The hegemony ships tried to board the station, but the protective fleet prevented them. During this time, something remarkable was happening in the conference halls. Alien scientists were working together in ways they never had before. The threat from the hegemony had united species that had been enemies for centuries. They were all determined to protect Earth's biological knowledge and ensure it could be shared freely. Dr. Vash made an announcement that surprised everyone. "The Helix Nebula Coalition officially recognizes Earth as our most valued scientific partner. Any attack on Earth will be considered an attack on us." One by one, other species made similar declarations. The thermal colonies, the Collectus, even the military Crag Empire announced their support for Earth. Within hours, humanity had gone from having no galactic allies to being protected by the most powerful coalition in the galaxy. Lord Commander Dex realized his position was hopeless. His 3 ships were facing a fleet of over 50 vessels from 24 species. More importantly, he was politically isolated. Even some hegemony members were questioning his aggressive approach. This is not over, he transmitted before ordering his ships to withdraw. The hegemony will not forget this insult. Let them remember it, said Dr. Kelleth. Today marks the end of their dominance and the beginning of a new era. With the immediate threat gone, the real work could begin. Haiyan Wu found himself at the center of the most ambitious scientific collaboration in galactic history. The Earth Galactic Biological Exchange Program was established with Dr. Choi Sang-wook as Earth's coordinator and Haiyan Wu as the primary liaison. The program was unlike anything that had ever been attempted. Human scientists would work directly with alien researchers, sharing Earth's biological secrets in exchange for advanced galactic technology. But it was not just a simple trade. The aliens were learning that human adaptability was itself a remarkable trait. Your species learned so quickly, Dr. Vash observed as he watched human scientists master alien technology in days rather than years. Most species need generations to understand new concepts, but humans adapt almost instantly. Dr. Yoon Ji-hai had arrived at the station to help coordinate the research. It is probably another result of Earth's chaotic history, she explained. Our ancestors had to adapt quickly to survive constant changes. That trait stayed with us. The first joint research projects produced amazing results by combining planarian regeneration principles with alien nanotechnology. They developed treatments that could repair brain damage in any species. Tardigrade survival mechanisms were being used to design new spacesuits that could protect travelers in the harshest environments. Most remarkably, Sci-Fi camouflage techniques were being combined with alien materials to create medical devices that could become invisible inside the body, allowing for surgery without any external incisions. These advances would have taken us centuries to develop alone, admitted Dr. Kelleth. Working with Earth knowledge, we have made more progress in months than in our previous 1,000 years. The political changes were equally dramatic. Earth was officially granted a seat on the Galactic Council, making humanity one of the governing species of the galaxy. The vote was not even close. Every species that had supported Earth during the hegemony crisis voted in favor. 6 months later, Haiyan Wu stood before the Galactic Council as Earth's first biological ambassador. The chamber was filled with representatives from hundreds of species, all of them eager to hear his address. When I first mentioned planarians at the medical conference, he began, I never imagined it would lead to this moment. I thought I was just sharing interesting information about a simple pond creature. The audience listened intently as he continued. But I have learned that knowledge is only valuable when it is shared. Earth's creatures are remarkable, but they become truly powerful when their secrets help heal beings across the galaxy. The planarian has become our symbol, Haiyan Wu said, gesturing to the holographic image floating above the chamber, a small, humble creature that can regenerate completely from almost nothing. It represents hope for all beings who thought their injuries could never heal. Today, children across the galaxy are learning about Earth's creatures in their schools. They are discovering that the most amazing things often come from the most unexpected places. A tiny worm from a pond on a distant planet has given new hope to billions of beings. Haiyan Wu paused and looked around the chamber at the faces of dozens of species. Earth is proud to share our biological heritage with the galaxy. But more than that, we are grateful to learn that even the smallest discovery can change the universe. Applause that followed was not just polite acknowledgement, it was genuine appreciation from beings whose lives had been improved by Earth's gifts. As Haiyan Wu left the chamber, he thought about the planarians swimming in ponds back home, completely unaware that they had helped transform galactic civilization. Sometimes, the most powerful forces in the universe were also the smallest and most humble. Earth had taught the galaxy that lesson, and the galaxy would never forget it.